He is convinced his illness is of Eastern origin.
He contracted it while working among Chinese sailors in the dockside area.
I see. And his symptoms?
He is fevered, his limbs are tremulous.
His appetite?
I believe it's at least 3 days since he's eaten. He's lost considerable weight. I haven't been able to examine him properly. He wouldn't allow it for fear of the contagion.
I think he may be overstating that danger.
But there's no doubt in my mind he's...
Is he delirious?
Yes, intermittently.
Well, Dr. Watson, I can't be sure without seeing our illustrious patient, but I fear I know what ails him. It is a most virulent and intractable disease.
But there is hope.
We must never lose hope. And it is no false arrogance to say that if anyone can save him, I can.
Then you will come.
It would be inhuman not to. I've seen the ravages of this affliction at close hand.
Yes, your plantation workers.
It was that disaster that began my investigation of its causes and possible cures. And although I am only an amateur, but then so too, we might say, is Mr. Holmes. For him, the villain, for me, the microbe. You see these bottles and jars arrayed all around us?
Yes.
They are my prisons. Among these gelatine cultivations, some of the worst offenders in the world are doing time. And I, too, am a kind of prisoner, condemned to a sentence of indeterminate length until I unravel the secrets of these malignants.
Mr. Smith, will you come?
Of course. Give me 10 minutes and I shall accompany you to Baker Street, is it not?
Yes, but I must ask you to make your own way there. I have another appointment. Business for Mr. Holmes.
Very well. You can rely on my being there within half an hour. It will be an honor to bring whatever special knowledge I have to bear on Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes? Holmes? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But you are very far away. Not in my dream. No, in a dream in another room.
I am no dream. I am here. Don't you know who I am?
I shall identify you by rational deduction. Yes, that is my method.
I think you are beyond rationality.
I sent Watson to fetch Calvert and Smith. Watson never fails me. Therefore, you must be Mr. Smith.
Well done. Your brain is not yet entirely dysfunctional, I am glad.
I hardly dared hope he would come.
How could I not? How could I refuse the summons of the great Sherlock Holmes?
And you will try to save me.
Save you? Do you know what's the matter with you?
Yes, and I know only you can help me.
But can I? I must be frank with you. I know you'd want only the truth. I haven't yet cured one case of this disease. You know it wiped out half the souls on my plantation. I could do nothing to stop it. I was like a man in chains whose house burns down around him.
Yes, but since then you've studied, learned more about its horrible workings than any man alive. I know you have. I've made the most extensive inquiries.
So I believe. Perhaps you don't appreciate how disconcerting that can be, to find out that the investigative genius of Sherlock Holmes has been directed at one's affairs.
But you do claim significant breakthroughs in understanding the disease.
Which, you will also have learned, killed my own nephew only 2 months ago.
Yes, I know that.
He died on the 4th day of his illness. And you have been like this, what, 3 days?
Yes.
But then Victor was a weakling. I hadn't set eyes on him for over 2 years, until some 10 weeks ago he invited me to lunch.
Smith, please, help me.
You must understand what you're up against. He was already on his 2nd bottle when I arrived. When I saw that fleshy, sneering face of his, I almost turned on my heel and left. An oath, Holmes. An oath. And a reprobate.
I won't keep you long, Uncle. I know this place isn't your style at all, but please do more than prod at your salmon. It's excellent. They know exactly how I like it here.
I eat little at lunchtime, and this certainly is too rich for me.
Still keep to your monkish habits, eh?
You said there was some business you wished to discuss. I thought any business we had together was concluded when my grandfather died.
Oh, good man. Self-disciplined and straight to the point. I can see why your company did so well. Until your unfortunate plague, that is.
We have recovered from that.
But it has cost you a great deal, has it not? It hasn't been easy finding new investment. I do pay attention to the financial pages.
No doubt. But that epidemic cost me more in grief than in money.
Grief? Oh, you mean all the blacks who died, yes. I did hear you've become obsessed with medical research. Can't say it surprised me. I remember when I first came to live on great-grandpapa's estate. You were, what, 15?
14. And you were a 6-year-old.
Rascal, I know. While you were already the solemn young scientist collecting all manner of bugs and fungi, when you weren't elbow-deep in scummy marsh water, you were poring over the driest volumes.
Victor, why this sudden interest in my work? I haven't heard from you in 2 years. We have taken entirely different paths in life.
But we do have some things in common.
Do we?
We are both orphans, both raised by the same benevolent relative. Your grandfather, my great one. Both now all alone and searching for some purpose in life.
I have purpose. That you should search for such a thing astonishes me.
You're right. The grand tone doesn't suit me, does it? Looking for some relief from boredom, let's say, something solid in which to invest time and money. I have an abundance of both. Abundance can become tiresome, you know.
And you want to relieve yourself of some of your abundance by investing in my company?
Perhaps. Tell me about Sumatra.
What do you want to know?
Where is it, for a start?
Indonesia. Southeast of India.
And it produces coffee and tea, money in those commodities.
I deal mainly in rubber and oil. Some coffee and tea and pepper and native artifacts.
Ah, what about the natives? Not respectable Anglican Tories, I'll wager.
They're mixed. Islamic, Buddhist, Hindu.
That was one thing our mutual benefactor found distressing in you, your fascination with our dark-skinned cousins.
They are a generous, graceful, intelligent people. And I had to watch scores of them die in misery and pain.
Oh, but they've bred up again to a workable population, I take it. No offence meant, Uncle. Do you have a consignment arriving soon?
Next week.
Mind if I pop down and take a look?
If you wish.
Jolly good. Now, do at least have a glass of Chablis. Even the most austere of monks will take wine for his stomach's sake, especially when his order's about to receive a sizable donation.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, it is, of course, tragic and strange that a young man should die of an obscure Asiatic disease in the heart of London, but all these details, they are of no relevance to my predicament.
Oh, but they are.
You said yourself, Victor hadn't the strength to combat his illness, but I mean to fight it.
No, he had no strength. No strength of body, of character, of will. Only an easily made fortune, and he had one of those already would have held his attention. And my researches, they meant nothing to him.
But he did inspect one of your shipments. So the docks, like me, where he contracted his illness.
Inspect? He stood there with the scented handkerchief at his nose, looking round him with contempt at honest men toiling for a living.
Good God, Uncle, do you spend a lot of your time down here?
Not as much as I used to.
It sounds and looks like utter confusion to me.
But it's not.
My experience of a dockside has been limited to drinking champagne on a liner, saying goodbye to friends. This smells like a Chinese dunghill.
And in what way would that differ from an English one?
Oh, don't sling that brothers under the skin nonsense at me. Would you pretend you'd easily turn your back on some of these roughnecks? Look at them. There could be pirates looting your ship.
Some of them used to be just that. And no, I can't entirely trust them all, but my people at home in Sumatra...
Home?
Them I'd trust with my life.
You know, sometimes I think great-grandpapa was right. You do have a dangerously lopsided view of the world.
You forget, Victor. I've seen the world. You've been no further than the theatres and brothels of Paris.
I suspect one sees what one wants to see. Your opinions were set years ago in great-grandpapa's library.
From which, in the end, he barred me.
However, any involvement I might plan in your exotic trade I imagine to be a case of signing checks and receiving larger ones. Oh, I might peruse the odd map for fun, and for comfort, our financial statements. Certainly I don't plan to be jostled and choked by your eastern chums. And watching barrels of oil roll down a gangplank does very quickly pall. Shall we go?
There's something else you might find less tedious.
Where?
On board.
What? Actually set foot on that floating slum?
You'll be quite safe. And if your splendid shoes get dirty, you may simply buy a new pair. How could my grandfather have loved such a worthless fool? It would take more than your rational method, Holmes, to fathom that. The human heart isn't plumbed by deductive reasoning. My politics, my aspirations were anathema to him. But to take to his heart that patently dishonest and selfish brat. Our home became his domain. He was the strutting prince in the house, the arrogant lordling of the whole estate. And then, with my being away at school so much of the time, by the time I was 19, he only 11 or so, he knew.
Stand and deliver.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Victor. Can I get no peace from you?
Your money or your life.
Where did you find that ridiculous mask?
In a trunk in the attic. Great-grandpapa said I could have it. It was my father's.
And was the pistol his too?
No.
Well, please, don't wave it at me. Play with your toys elsewhere.
Stand still. It's not a toy. It's real.
Liar.
Shall I pull the trigger and we'll see?
Go ahead, you little beast.
Tell me where you've been.
Walking, thinking, trying to escape from that irritating voice of yours.
What are you thinking about?
Apart from the fact that I long to be back at university with miles between you and me, my thoughts are none of your business.
You're a threat to the Empire.
I'm what?
I heard Reverend Bissett say that. Thoughts are abroad that threaten our Empire. Great-grandpapa just grunted. They were talking about you. And from now on, any books you want from the library, you must check with him first.
You really are an evil little monster. It's almost impressive, the poison you invent.
I'm not inventing. Go and ask him. Look, see this squirrel? Missed.
Dear God.
You should see your face. Oh, you should see it.
That isn't a toy, of course. It's real.
It looks it.
They're used for hunting wild pigs. A couple are thrown to bring the beast down. The kill is finished by others, stabbing.
That would do it, yes. These knives aren't exactly playthings either.
Do you still hunt?
Of course. Not keen on the riding, I must admit, but it's expected of me.
Squirrels?
Squirrels, hardly. A fox in the morning, old man. Bag the odd rabbit.
But no longer squirrels with pistol.
You remember that?
Oh, yes. Don't you remember the look on my face?
God, I was such a devil in those days.
You were.
An ignorant boy.
Indeed. And I thought perhaps some of your like-minded fashionable friends might take a fancy to some of this.
Well, you mean they might become the things to have? A pair of crossed pig spears on one's dining room wall, or one of these tom-toms to summon the servants? Can't see it, Uncle.
It's not all such primitive stuff. Look at the carving of this ivory. Exquisite. These combs. Boxes, necklaces. And these heads of Buddha.
Might look prettily exotic on the mantelpiece. Can we not have more light in here?
Or these masks. You used to like masks. This one's corrupted Hindu.
Corrupted?
Yes. He's derived from Kalki. This demon,
Kalki.
an avatar of Vishnu. When he comes, all decadence will be wiped out.
You do talk with frightful respect about all this mumbo-jumbo.
My distressing fascination with our dark cousins. The island tribespeople took over the myth, combined it with their own older stories, and summed up this face.
Ugly customer, especially in this half-light. Are those tusks?
Yes. He seems to be horse and boar together, nobility and ferocity. He shall annihilate the wicked, the weak and deceiving cruel generation which rules today. And then the world will be renewed.
Uncle,
What?
I should be going soon.
Of course.
But before I do,
Yes.
the estate. It's your home, you know. I mean, you must come down. You really must. Anytime you like. The hospitality will floor you, believe me. We can hunt and fish and the library's still there.
And we can discuss our business.
Business?
Your investment in my demeaning little trade.
Demeaning? Not at all. Not with your enthusiasm. Yes, regular board meeting in the most pleasant surroundings.